The GOP can boot Liz Cheney out of leadership, but they can't necessarily stop her from talking about the last election and her perceptions of what happened and what didn't happen. In fact, doing the first might have made the second actually more likely, because she was just on Fox News, and here's a conversation that she had with Bret Baier.
When you look at the challenge that the former president is presenting right now, still today, claiming that the election was stolen, claiming that our electoral process does not accurately reflect the will of the people, no remorse or regret for January 6th, continuing to use the language that we know inspired violence in the past. But I continue to say it though, Bret. Brett, I continue to say it because
in principle. I get it.
But it's because
but for the people of Wyoming who are electing a congressperson to fight for them and to fight against the Biden agenda, why wouldn't they say, is this the person that's going to get it done? That's what your colleagues are asking.
I'm going to answer the question. We all have an obligation, and I would say Fox News especially Fox News, has a particular obligation to make sure people know the election wasn't stolen.
Fox News,
Brett, I'm going to answer your question. Fox News needs to make sure that the American people,
Fox News, you have to know that this show has said that
the American people, Brett, you're doing the interview, I'm answering the questions. We need to make sure that the American people recognize and understand that the election wasn't stolen, that we shouldn't perpetuate the big lie, and that there's real danger.
They seem to really like each other. Yeah, you know that Bret Baier is totally comfortable with acknowledging that the election was legitimate when he says, we've said that, come on. Like, he definitely wants to have this be a thing that his show is known for, acknowledging legitimacy. And he also threw out, why would the people of Wyoming want you? You're supposed to be fighting against Biden, so why are you acknowledging that the election wasn't stolen? So that's what they would say. That's what he threw out. When he kept asking the question, he seems to want to make that be what Liz Cheney is about. A question of, can you serve as a congresswoman? Can you deliver for your constituents? Can you oppose Biden if you don't tell the lie that the election was stolen? None of that makes any sense to me, but that's one of their straight news guys saying it.
Yeah, and by the way, if you compare the voting record of Liz Cheney to Elise Stefanik, who replaced her, Cheney was more conservative than by about 20 points, a little bit over 20 points if I remember right. And by the way, to Liz Cheney's discredit, she also voted with Donald Trump far more than Stefanik did. She voted with Trump 92% of the time. So like this big, bold anti-Trump person opposed him 8% of the time. Now at the same time, this election is so important and protecting our democracy is so important. I do appreciate what she's saying on this issue, even though I disagree with her on everything else. Now, but the reason she's emphasizing Fox here is a poll just came out saying 86% of Fox viewers think the election was stolen. Joe Biden stole the election, did like fraud, cheated, fixed the voting. Like in all those different states, you understand what kind of a giant conspiracy that would take? And that actually happened in the real world, and Donald Trump actually won, but was robbed. That's what 86% of Fox viewers believe. Now, how do you think they came to that belief? Because of what Liz Cheney's saying, because Fox says it all the time. They say it with undertones, overtones, they flat out say it, they have guests say it over and over and over again, and then 2 or 3 times Chris Wallace and Bret Baier say, by the way, the election wasn't stolen, please don't sue us, okay?
Please keep watching.
Yeah, no, your overwhelming message you send through Tucker Carlson and everyone else that it was stolen. And you guys are unbelievable liars, and you brainwashed tens of millions of Americans into believing your goddamn lie. So I can't believe I'm on the same side as Liz Cheney, but only on this one issue.
Yeah, I've got to say, a broken clock is right twice a day. And Liz Cheney, thankfully, is objectively correct on this issue. Having said that, though, it does worry me, and I'm going to get a little bit more cynical here, that Democrats like Nancy Pelosi applaud her for her courageousness, because it's not like Liz Cheney is doing this because she genuinely cares about democracy. If she cared about democracy, she would have supported HR 1, the For the People Act. It passed the House, and Liz Cheney voted nay on the For the People Act. So if she actually cared about the legislative push around the country, using the big lie that she's denouncing now, she would have supported that piece of legislation. And so I read a really phenomenal piece in The Intercept from Ryan Grim, where he breaks down how every single thing that Liz Cheney does is a cynical ploy to advance her own career. So I could only speculate. I don't know what she's doing here. Maybe she's trying to position herself as like the anti-Trump Republican in 2024, 2028, I'm not sure. But what I do know is that one thing that I have to point out is she wasn't concerned about another big lie that Fox News pushed a few years ago. Her father's big lie about Iraq having weapons of mass destruction. So even though like it's good that Liz Cheney is telling the truth about the election, I just can't not hate her. She's so insufferable because she's such a liar herself, and everything just seems so disingenuous and opportunistic. So that might be overly cynical, but I'm speaking my truth here.
I like you're speaking your truth. Mike, that's not at all overly cynical. That's 100% right. Factually,
I hate her guts, Cenk.
I don't know, guys. There is a consistency though. Her father only told that lie to export democracy over to Iraq.
Oh yeah,
after all.
That is true. That is the one thing I missed.
Yeah, that is true.
So look, all the facts that Mike gave about Liz Cheney's record are factually indisputable. The fact that he hates her guts is also factually indisputable. It's his actual opinion. But seriously, guys, one last thing. Look, I don't care too much how politicians, what they actually think or what their real motivations are, as long as they're voting or doing the right things. So I won't look a gift horse too much in the mouth here, and I'm glad, because it matters that there's a Republican out there saying Trump's a liar, Trump's a liar, all these Republicans are liars, it's not true. The election wasn't stolen. From a marketing, branding, media perspective, that makes a big difference. Okay, having said that, Mike, I thought the same exact thing this morning. As I was reading this, I was like, oh, wait a minute, this is actually really smart on Liz Cheney's part. Because she's establishing herself, her brand, as the anti-Trump person. Like now, nobody remembers Jeff Flake or anyone else, or Classy Ben Sassy, who's gone back into a cave and hiding, etc. The one person everybody remembers as that didn't support Donald Trump, the Republican Party, is Liz Cheney. So she just separated herself from everyone else. I'm not saying that position wins, but there needs to be, but it's a smart play as a matter of percentages. If you're one person out of all those Congress people to stand out, to go this specific route.
Maybe. I mean, definitely politicians are arrogant and ambitious. I can't imagine that she looks out there or has any polling that tells her that she's going to break through in 2024, 2028.
Oh, she's a Cheney. Of course she's looking for power.
I just don't know where she's supposed to find it.
No, but she was
with the current Republican Party.
Third in charge of the Republicans in the House, right? She was the number 3 Republican in the House. Does Cheney have larger ambitions? Of course. Yeah,
but Schumer's the majority leader. He's not going to be president ever. Like there are limits.
Cheney is much younger. No, I get. Look,
maybe.
No. They'd almost have to be stupid not to think about her positioning and her branding and how she's going to be considered the #1 anti-Trump Republican in the country. And if Trump falls out of favor, for example, if he was prosecuted,
that would increase his favor.
Wish upon a dream, etc. Look, I don't know how he would fall out of favor. It seems nearly impossible. I'm not saying that strategy would win, but if you're looking to give yourself the best odds, this is how you would do it. So, but if she's doing it for politics, I don't really care. So have at it, Hoss.
Yeah, right? I like the truth.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks. Really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.